I know, it's episode 10. Caroline and I are just like freaking out that the time has gone so fast. It's the Claiming Your Success Conversations with Caroline and Sabrina podcast, and we are on episode 10 of 12 in season 1. So we're like about to cross that finish line, guys. And what we've got for these last 3 conversations for you in this season, it's going to bring so much guidance, I think, and so much support and hopefully some peace of mind to those of you that are building a business, whether that's in if it's in direct sales, if it's your own business that you're trying to grow, maybe it's in your career, you're just trying to elevate in your career and you're struggling. We're going to bring you some real good stuff to kind of help you move forward. So the topic of conversation today is the necessity of good mentorship. I say the necessity because if you're going somewhere that you've never been before, does it not make sense to have guidance from someone who's been there? Let me again, because how many people actually seek advice and guidance from people that have never been where they want to go?
Because they think it's better to be backed by the qualification, right? Sorry, I'm not saying you don't need to have the qualification, but I know I would rather listen to someone who is literally took those 2 feet through what I'm going through and can relate and tell me what they've been through, and I can relate to it because I will relate to it better. Sorry, I just intervened there.
That's good, because we either look at just someone's credentials and think, oh yeah, that's the right person to guide me, or we go in completely the opposite direction and feeding back to some of the other conversations we've had about not being supported by family members, friends, or whatever. We seek the support or this sounds like a good idea. Why don't you go and do that, from people that have never done what we're trying to do? How does that make sense? Why are we letting people in our circle who have never been where we want to go be the deciding factor about whether or not we go there?
So true. I can just echo everything you've just said, because it's that. But then also just rewinding, I never even knew about having a mentor pre-lockdown. I didn't know it was a thing to even go to someone for the guidance. Even that within work, I didn't realize my manager should be someone that I should aspire to be. I didn't know that, so that was me being just existing pre-lockdown. So I didn't have a clue until I then learned, from my mentor and then from the managers who inspired me. Sabrina.
A lot of people are in that circle, in that situation. They don't even know that mentorship is available to them. Or they go down the other route and it's like a pride or ego thing, not asking for help or not seeking guidance.
Yeah, that as well. But then also last year, August, I did like a mentorship course. We don't actually realize that we're all mentors. Anyone we give our ear to and we give them advice, or we're listening, give them advice, or giving them an opinion or what they should do, that's us mentoring. We don't realize that we're all walking mentors. We all are, because we've all been through something that we can then help guide someone else through. Sorry, that was like another thing too that just popped into my head.
True. It's true, which then begs the question, what is the right mentor? How do you find the right mentor for you? I think that's a question people listening have.
Now, I've written down a couple of things, and I guess, right, the things I've written down is what I then seeked in a mentor. Someone who's patient with me. Someone who listens. Sorry, shall I list it, what I've written down, or should we?
Go for it. And we can dismantle it afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Right. So we've got patient with me, listens, communicates. Well, I say asks, right? That's because there was a time, yes, Sabrina was mentoring me, right? And what I realized after like a specific hour call we had, right? She only asked me a few questions. And she pulled out so much gold came out of that, and even got me to recognize. So that's why I'm saying ask, because a mentor should ask, and it should be the mentor listening. Sorry, it all leads to then finding like the root of the obstacle, and then creating a safe environment for that individual, because I feel like you want that person to open up to you. You want them to be able to feel safe enough to do that and to literally put their heart on their sleeve. So you need to create a safe environment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things I wrote down before this call, and those things all resonate with me. That's what I feel. you know.
One was, do you think, was the one that made the biggest difference for you? If you could pick one out of those 6.
I want to say listen, because I think throughout my journey, I felt like, and you know, work, everything I've been through, I obviously felt like I was never heard, you know. And for someone to sit and actually listen to me, that's key for me and my journey, you know.
Their own agenda, right? I think that
Oh,
part. Like there's a story, Caroline. Caroline's dying. Listeners, Caroline is okay. I can see her. She's fine. She's just working through something, I think.
that's so true. Honestly, it is, and it's such a shame to say, but some people, they have like the wrong intentions when it comes to mentoring and mentorship, and exactly that. Oh, sorry. And I was on a call with someone just before, you know, and we were talking about the podcast. We were talking about me and Sabrina touching on a couple of things that is probably going to rock a couple of boats, to be honest, because we're just highlighting the wrong way to mentor people. Sorry, we're going to start saying it. And soon we will stop being sorry about it as well, because it's something so passionate.
Sorry. I'm not even sorry. Not even sorry. Do you know why? Because I think it is this, especially in like an affiliate marketing, network marketing, direct sales kind of structure of a business. And whether you're in that kind of a business or not, I think this is relevant. There are so many people that get shunted to the side, or they count themselves from being able to succeed in what they're out here pursuing, because the mentorship, quote unquote, that they're receiving is crap. The person that's giving it has their own agenda for that person's success. And let me say that again. I think this is one of the reasons why network marketing, direct sales has kind of a ugly taste in some people's mouths, is because those people have received that kind of mentorship where it's like, you need to get your business to this level so that I can reach this level. You need to get, you know, make X amount of sales so that I receive this level of acknowledgement. That's really, really crappy mentorship, because it goes back to what Caroline pointed out as being the most important part of that list of 6 that you identified, which was listening. Mentor is telling you what you need to do so that they can get something. They're not listening to you. They're not listening to your goals. They're not listening to the things that are important to you. They're not listening to what it is. Yeah, exactly. Did they even ask what it is that you want? Did they ask you that?
We're going to have, again, I'm telling you, it's like the podcast is just literally firing up as we're getting ready to finish season 1. We're going to leave you lot on a cliffhanger.
That is so good. Yes, it's so good. That's exactly what we want.
Like, no, like, so many things are coming to me now, Sabrina, just everything you're saying. And then, okay, we're looping back around to mentorship. What would you say your key ones are? Your key 6? Your key 6?
Gosh, I would say somebody who models what the right way is. Somebody who I can, like, literally, if I was to follow, like, do what they did, I would find momentum and some growth, right? So somebody who models the right way, somebody who that mentor in the true sense of being able to go to for guidance, being able to ask questions, being able to seek, you know, the right way for me to do things. So not necessarily somebody who tells me what to do, but rather somebody who listens enough to what it is that I want, or can observe enough what it is that I'm struggling with, that they can help me see something that I'm not seeing. You know, like, they're called blind spots for a reason. And it's really valuable to have somebody on the outside looking in that can be like, okay, this is what I'm seeing. Tweak this, tweak that, tweak the other, and let's see what happens from there. So somebody who offer that real true mentorship, somebody who is a certain level that I feel inspired by. I feel like pushed, that, oh my gosh, if they can achieve that, maybe I can achieve that too. So somebody who inspires me to be better. 3. I don't know whether I have 6. I think the last one probably would be somebody who's truly authentic, somebody who has a lot of integrity, somebody I can trust. I can trust that they're in it for the right reasons. They're wanting to help me because they want to help me, not because it means something bigger on the greater agenda for them. I think that's true mentorship, because, you know, if like take direct sales or network marketing out of the equation, if you have a mentor that's not like, your success means nothing to them in terms of they get nothing for you being successful. Maybe you have a business mentor and you're starting a business. That person should somebody that you can trust through the process, because you're going to be talking about your struggles. You're going to be talking about vulnerable things that you want to know. I think it's similar to one of yours, that there's a safe space there for you.
Yeah.
So what did I say? Modeling, true mentorship, somebody who has, you can trust, who's authentic and has integrity, and somebody who listens.
And then with that, what are you coming across at the minute? Like, what are you seeing? How are you seeing people show up? Do you feel like for me, I feel like, do you know?
Caroline, that's always coming into my gosh. What am I seeing at the moment? How people are showing up.
And you know what? Even that, we're going to be stepping into the busiest period for well, not everyone, but the ones who celebrate Christmas and, you know, all of that. It's going to get busier. And I feel like this is where people need to double up. Sorry, now you go, because it's even that it's going to show up. So anyway, you go.
I think that he quote Trent Shelton. Are you familiar with Trent Shelton?
Yes, because of you.
He's my boy. Anyone who's not familiar with Trent Shelton, go and listen to his podcast. Yeah, Caroline's like, how do you not know? Trent Shelton, go and listen to his podcast. He is incredible. Buy his books. Consume everything that you can from this man. He's incredible. He said, convenience exposes commitment. Convenience exposes commitment. Excuse me. So what I take from that when, like, to bring it back to what you said, Caroline, about entering busy seasons and being in seasons maybe of upheaval or uncertainty, once it becomes inconvenient you to show up with those things, like you listen, you model the behavior, you communicate, you're somebody with trust and integrity, you're in it for somebody else with no agenda of your own. Once it becomes inconvenient to show up like that, it exposes people. Exposes your level of commitment to actually being any of those things, right? So I see through seasons of upheaval or uncertainty or busy times, its true nature sometimes gets exposed. That's not judgment, right?
It's not
judgment. It's not judgment. It is purely an observation of work that still needs to be done in certain individuals, right?
Feedback needs to be something people start taking not as something negative, you know, and that's something that I used to take quite negatively until I started working on myself, developing and understanding that I want feedback. Give me feedback so I know how I can be the best I can be. And you know what, right? We're not here to make anyone feel any type of way or anything like that. Sabrina was once said to me, it's not tough love. It's just love.
It's love.
You know, it's just love where we're coming from. So please don't take anything too harsh on what we're saying, but it's factual and it's facts. You know, it's that harsh. It's that harsh. Sorry. Just wanted to drop that as well.
No, because exactly what you said, like it's not, we're not judging, we're not throwing shade or trying to make anybody feel any certain type of way, but it's just highlighting that the work, what you think the work is. The work isn't figuring out your marketing funnel. The work isn't updating your podcast. The work isn't getting more followers. The work is that isn't the work. The work is your own self, your own growth. If you're somebody who struggles to receive feedback, you always make it mean something negative about yourself as a human, right? So somebody says, really think you should do X, Y, and Z this way because it would be A, B, and C better, right? Mm-hmm. And you take that as telling me I suck. You're telling me that I'm stupid. You're telling me I can't. If that's how you receive feedback, then if you're stuck, that's why. You're never going to be able to elevate beyond your personal growth level. Some of the most straightforward, easiest, quickest way to elevate is to understand where your flaws are, understand where it is that you're not performing in the way that you want. Again, blind spots. You can't see them. Somebody on the other side can, right? So you not being willing to receive feedback puts a block on your progress. And I still have to remind myself, like, remember guys, I shared this with you, that my foundational stories, what I grew up believing about myself was that you don't matter, you don't belong, you're not enough, and you don't get chosen, right? So imagine somebody coming to me and saying, Sabrina, when you did that thing like that, it would be much better if you did it that way, right? Me was like, oh shit, that's proof. Sorry, I just swore. That's proof that matter. That's proof that I'm not good enough. That's proof, like all of those things. And so I would resist that feedback because I'm like, no, don't tell me that I'm good enough, right? Now I have to train myself to actively seek feedback. Whenever I do anything, I always ask people, how was that? How did that come across? How did you perceive that? How did you receive it? How could I do that better? And still, to this day, still, when I receive the feedback of you could have done A, B, and C better, I have to fight. That doesn't mean you're not good enough, Sabrina. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means this is where you could be better. And my pursuit in this life is to be the very best version of myself that I can be. And so in order to do that, I need to be willing to be told where I can be better.
Now, something that's coming to my head while you were saying with the feedback, right? I'm just trying now thinking of when it comes to mentorship, because someone's got the wrong agenda of when they're mentoring you. It's then their feedback. So now what I'm trying to say, Sabrina, is how can people recognize when the feedback is genuine and the feedback, like, do you know what I mean? The genuine feedback in comparison to feedback that's going to make someone feel upset, make them go, do you know what I mean? It's the wrong type of feedback. Do you get what I mean? Like, especially where I said tough love, yeah, it's just love. Like, I can only relate it, like explain it from work, you know, good manager, bad manager. You have the bad managers that are always shouting to do this, do that, do this, and they're the ones sitting in the office doing nothing. You got the good managers that you see running, leading from the front, you know. So how would someone know that, you know, if a good mentor from a not a good mentor in with feedback? Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are. And I think you actually said it in your stories after we recorded on Sunday, how it feels.
That was what I wanted you to
feels, right? If
right?
It feels like you just got attacked, if it feels like there was nothing, like if somebody gives you feedback and it's not feedback, if it is this, right? First of all, if somebody says they're giving you feedback and it's just an attack about thing that you did wrong, it's going to make you feel a certain type of way, right? It's going to make you feel, because there's what you're supposed to do with that. There's no guidance about how it could be better. There's no reason why it wasn't the right way. And it's probably was an attack about you personally, as opposed to what you did, right? There's a difference. Caroline might have failed. Caroline is not a failure. Those are two completely different things, right? So how it feels when you receive that, did you feel kind of like, okay, that made me feel a little bit, I got butterflies in my stomach because it triggered something in me, but know that they, like, if I do what they said, that I'm going to be better. If I do what they said, then I'm going to grow. If it feels like that, it was true feedback. If it just, it leaves you feeling like that wasn't feedback, somebody just attacked you.
That was the lowest I've seen Sabrina go. So I was like, where's she going? I know I can see her behind the mic. So, and the smug face was because there's someone who's going to be listening to this. And I'm so glad that Sabrina knows no backstory, because apart from that, because there's some people out here feeling like absolute SHIT when they're coming off a one-to-one call with their mentor, or, you know, just no. And it's not, you're not meant to be that. It's not meant to be that way. You're not meant to feel that way. You're meant to feel like you're being helped and guided into the right direction, not ignored.
It may be a hard conversation. Like, it's feedback isn't always an easy thing.
Exactly.
Like, it's not easy to receive. And for me, I'm somebody who just loves to love on people. So getting good at giving feedback was hard for me too, because I don't want people to feel like a certain kind of way. I don't want them to feel as if I'm like nitpicking or anything like that. So I had to develop the skill of giving feedback. And giving feedback, there is a skill to it, right? So it's not an easy conversation. So it's never, I don't think you're ever going to come out of a feedback conversation just like skipping on rainbows and being like, yeah, still going to feel.
Jim Carrey in my head.
It might still feel like work that needs to be done, but you should feel as if there's a logical next step, not just sitting in a swamp of like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Right? And then the mentor will always uplift you at the end. Mentor, manager, whatever it is, they're always going to find the way to tell you whatever it is, constructive feedback, and then they'll find a way to then praise you at the end. Identify that, because if you ain't getting no praise, there's something wrong with their mentorship, their leadership, their management skills, their communication skills, because that's not the person that's going to inspire you. And that, if you're not inspired by the person, why are you listening to them? You're gonna go the other way. You're gonna go the other way. You're probably gonna run the other way because you don't want to be like them.
It's important to understand exactly what you just said, Caroline, that you have power in that relationship too. Mm-hmm. Like the mentor-mentee relationship isn't a power. There shouldn't be a power hierarchy. It's a relationship, right? So yes, the mentor might have more knowledge than you, might have more skill than you. So they're in a position to be able to guide you to develop the knowledge and the skill, but they're not a better human than you. It shouldn't ever be that you feel like, oh, I'm just another number. I'm just another, like, oh, not even a human to them. Oh, really, they're on a pedestal for me and whatever. No, it should be an equal footing in terms of your humanness. And they may be just a couple of steps ahead of you so that they can offer you the guidance that you need. But you as a mentee, always assert your ability to think for yourself. If it doesn't feel good to you, leave. Like, no, you don't need to be in any kind of abusive relationship, because that's how I see it. If somebody is using a power dynamic against you in an abusive relationship, you need to get the hell out.
You're so right. And then just looping back round to, the mentor doesn't always hold the power, right? Just share something with you guys. Something that I started doing, I want to say 2 years now at work. When I sit down with my staff members and I'm having the one-to-one meeting, the question I ask them first is, give me feedback. Let me know how I've been for you. Let me know if there's anything I can change, That's what I ask them. And I can probably guarantee you all the store managers along Oxford Street, I'm probably the only one that does that. Hence why my store is successful. But do you know why? But that is one thing I do first. I get them to give me feedback first, because I want to make sure that, listen, I prioritize them. I want to make sure they're okay before they even step on that shop floor. If there's anything they need to talk about, they need to go give me my ear for 5 minutes. They're having it, to let it all out.
That's a real mentor, Caroline. Like that's what a mentor is. Somebody who is selfless, process, and wants their people to succeed.
Yeah. That's all we want.
That's all we want.
That's all we want. That's all we want you lot to want and to have.
This was helpful. That was a good conversation.
I just blinked done, like, what?
I know. And I think that, like you said, we may have stepped on some toes or made people kind of maybe question some of the guidance or mentorship they're receiving. Our aim is always for you to be in the best possible position to move your life forward in the way that you want it to go. And so we're never going to shy away from these kinds of conversations that make you question what it is you're currently doing, especially when you know in your heart that what you're currently doing isn't working.
Right. And also,
listen to this gives you permission to change it, then we did our job.
Please. And we've probably been there too, right? We've had the wrong 100%. Kind of mentorship, wrong manager, 1,000%. Not the right leader. So we're only speaking from truth. Go with the feeling, guys.
The feeling. Love it.
No!
Alrighty. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, fam, for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.